And then this is the book, I just came out with this one. This one went national bestseller just last month. It's called The Universal Wish, with the foreword by Frank Shankowitz. Anyone that doesn't know Frank, he's the founder of a little organization called Make-A-Wish.
I like that book.
There you can have that. This one right here is one of my best friends. His name's Ruben Gonzalez. Now, Ruben Gonzalez just broke the Guinness Book of World Records as an Olympian. He's the first person in the history of the world to compete in 4 Winter Olympics in 4 separate decades. He's not good, he's just old. So here's the deal. What he did is he realized that he could get something called the Olympic Creed, and he had the courage to succeed. And that means the courage to get started, and once you get started, the courage to not quit. It seems like everyone's got that aha moment, they get fired up, piss and vinegar, but as soon as challenges come, what happens?
They disappear.
They hold up the tent, right? So the whole idea is this little book is filled with little nuggets of inspiration to help you stay motivated and inspired to keep moving forward. By the way, here's a picture of him in back. He was in Pamplona, Spain, running with the bulls, and I'm touching his elbow over here on this side. He cut me out, bastard. And every year we do these crazy adventures. So we went to Spain running with the bulls, and I call it you go running from the bulls, right? And we went jet packing. We did trapeze. You want this one? There you go. We did trapeze, and a couple of years ago we went to Africa and climbed and summited Mount Kilimanjaro. And my wife was in the back. Right now, she's the first and only Filipino woman in the history of the world that actually climbed and summited Mount Kilimanjaro. Put your hands together for that. Now, this book, I can't recommend it enough. It's called The Pendulum. Now, imagine a ball and string, and this is the way it works. Remember back in the late 60s and 70s, it was all, hey, make love, not war, right? You're the green and growing or ripe and rotten. Remember that old cliches? Well, in the late 80s, we became something called a me society. It was all about us. Remember, everyone's getting pimped out clothes and cars and condominiums? And then in the early 2000s, it became what's called a greed society. And everything imploded, and then the pendulum has swung back. And now we're back into the we society of the 60s and 70s. If you don't believe me, think about it. Are people following gurus anymore? No. Right now, our president of the United States is supposed to be this great messiah, all of a sudden has the lowest approval rating in history. People are not following people anymore, they're following movements, they're following ideals, they're following other groups and associations that are getting the results we want. And this literally is a crystal ball to tell you exactly what's coming next. And then next, you want this one? Now, oh wow, thanks for coming in. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'll give you guys a little free coverage here. I'm an author, speaker, filmmaker, and I've been published in 49 books, 35 different languages and countries, 28 national bestsellers, been in 5 motion pictures, my own magazine. I'm the least famous guy you'll ever meet. And the cool thing about it is I've realized how to leverage opportunity. I call it a fulcrum point. You guys ever notice like a seesaw? And you have both sides and you have a little ledge in the middle. Well, that's exactly where you can stay balanced. But if you can move that fulcrum point over just a little bit and use the right leverage, you can lift a car, you can lift a truck. And I've realized how to use my fulcrum point and actually leverage relationships like nobody else's business. In fact, remember when I did that book here, The Universal Wish, with the foreword from Frank Shankowitz? I'm proud to say he just gave me the rights to now go into the movie making business. So I'm the producer for my first major Hollywood film called Wish Man. The story of the actual Make-A-Wish Foundation, how it became to be. So right now, see, Gia, you got to pause right there. And so the whole idea, as they're moving forward here, when she was doing her presentation, she was just rambling, right? And everything she kept saying, I kept going, yeah, I want to give you some love, but she wouldn't stop talking long enough for us to give her that love. So let's give the love back to Gia. Now I'm going to share with you how I've leveraged those things. Who here has ever heard of a guy named Napoleon Hill or Think and Grow Rich? All right. So here's the deal. So I'm going to tell you kind of the story behind the story for those who don't know his quest. You see, at age 23, he was an aspiring magazine reporter, and he gained access to the richest dude in the world. His name was Andrew Carnegie, who started U.S. Steel. Now, he was so wealthy, it'd be like putting, Carnegie Hall, you would know all that stuff. But he also would be like putting Richard Branson, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and all these different people together in one room. He was the guy. He was the richest dude there was. And what happened, it was going to be a 3-hour interview. And it turns out to go 3 full days and 3 full nights. At the end of the interview, Carnegie turns to his guest and says, I like you. You got a lot of energy. He says, if you'll work for me for free for 20 years, I'll send you on a mission to meet the most powerful and influential people of our time. Right there and there, Napoleon Hill said, work for free for what? He says, God, I got nothing to lose. I got everything to gain. He goes, Mr. Carnegie, not only will I